It's no secret that football is a prominent aspect of the British culture. People gather in pubs, attend matches, and support their home team with pride. In London specifically, football is big. As home to several of England's leading football clubs, many people can connect on a shared interest in the sport. However, the small distance between all the clubs in these major cities can also create conflict and rivalry. While the football culture is an important part of the British identity, it has the ability to both unite and turn people against each other. The question is, how?
Here we are at Stamford Bridge, home of Chelsea Football Club, one of 13 clubs in London and one of 5 in the top flight of the British Premier League. The fact that there are 13 clubs in London really show how ingrained football is in the community here in London, with the next country only having 2 football teams in their major capital, being Madrid. So you can really see the passion and dedication that London has towards its football and its clubs. According to sociologist Richard Guillemin, football unites communities in a community of supporters who rally behind their teams. Some teams bring multiple fan bases together through supporter clubs. Teams will display plaques in their stadiums for their supporting clubs, oftentimes creating the feeling that the club is more than just a club. It's a collective identity that makes fans feel bigger than themselves.
The idea of being bigger than oneself carries over into the stadium's atmosphere. If only one fan was passionate about the game, iconic group cheers that take over the stadium wouldn't exist. As psychologist Susan Whitbourne explains, fans come together with a shared love for their team to support and cheer loudly and proudly. The stadium atmosphere brings fans together, even if they didn't previously know the person sitting next to them.
My name's Heidi James, and I support Chelsea. So when you're all together in the stadium, there is honestly no greater feeling. When people say I don't like football, it's like you've never watched it live. Because when you watch it live and you're in the stadium with your other fans, it's incredible. Certainly for the World Cup, we will have people come around to watch England play, and we'll all be watching on the screen and having a party and stuff, so that's really great. Certainly in the teams it brings us together, and when my son, he's a teenager, but he's growing out being a difficult teenager, but when he was sort of in that weird phase of grunting at me, we could at least talk about how Chelsea were doing together. So I think it can really bring you together in those ways.
Pubs are another place where football fans and rivals alike can come to support their favorite teams. According to Guidebook by Oliver Brooks, pubs originally functioned for the disenfranchised fans who were no longer allowed in modern stadiums. It was, and still is, a place where fans could drink beer and engage in their favorite cheers as if they were at the game in person. For a traditional fan, collective identity is an important factor. Being able to come together in a public venue allows the football community to extend and exist beyond the stadium.
Though it can bring people together, football is in many ways based on rivalry. According to interviews conducted by the Institute of Interdisciplinary Research on Conflict and Violence, highly identified fans tend to justify rivalries. They offer reasons such as it's just a tradition that we carry on, or rivalries are understandable objective justification. Fans feel that rivalries have always existed and therefore do not need to be explained. These rivalries become very territorial, sometimes causing violence and destruction.
There is this real tribalism to it. that I think is true in lots of different spectators, but in particular football and the England fans can be really diabolical. But even beyond that, I find I don't crow about it, but I will have people say to me, "Oh, I see Chelsea's," get really weirdly aggressive. People that's my friends, and you think, okay, whereas I wouldn't say, "Oh, I see Man City didn't do so well." So it can be a bit weirdly bound up with people's identity and their ego. And that's what, it's that identification with their team.
With 5 teams that play in the Premier League, London is no stranger to crosstown rivalries. However, there is none bigger than that between Arsenal and Tottenham. The rivalry began when Arsenal moved from the south to the North London, where Tottenham plays, in 1913. Tottenham fans became upset, saying that Arsenal invaded their territory, giving birth to what we now call the North London Derby. This situation is especially tense as the two team stadiums are 30 minutes away from each other, further than any other teams in London. The Arsenal-Tottenham rivalry causes a major rift in the community, with supporters of both sides living in close vicinity and congregating at the same pubs before games. In the North London Derby, it's not uncommon for fights to break out between fans before, during, and after the matches. To this day, Tottenham supporters still are angry about Arsenal invading their territory. When talking to my coworker Jordan Sayek, he said he would much rather not have kids than have them grow up to be Arsenal fans. He claims that Arsenal should have stayed in South London, where they belong.
As you can see, football indeed has the ability to both bring fans together and pit them against each other. Whether fans are cheering together with a drink in their hand at a pub, attending a game, or partaking in rivalries, the sport is a large part of the British culture.